John and I were kept apart on purpose. It was done by AFSI. We have this on the tape that was done. Linda, where you at?
Right here.
Okay. You have that on tape, right? That we could not get back together again. Because if we did, we discovered the truth. And so with that hypnotic suggestion, that's what happened. Bear with me. This is bizarre. So, I do stuff with Colonel Halt. Documentaries, come over here. Nothing happens. Go to the wrong sites. Film the wrong stuff. Halt is also part of the cover-up, by the way. You know that? Okay. He was under orders. Whether he admits it or not, he was under orders by OSI. The ongoing investigation was going on. Immediately, that tells everybody in the Air Force, quote, hands off, ongoing investigation. OSI can investigate anybody on that base. They don't work for the wing commander, they don't work for the base commander, but they do brief the wing commander, hey, we got an investigation going on, but we can't talk about it. Right? Sure. So, Halt tells me in 2000, earlier than that, 1996, we do what was that show over here?
The nice sci-fi.
No, the one that you and I, Stranger Truth. What a crock that was. Oh. They maybe call that thing a tank. That's what it looked like. Anybody that's I love documentaries. They call it a tank. It don't look like a tank. It don't look like the size of a tank. Anyway, we go over to that show. Halt does not let me have contact with him. If I go for breakfast, Halt comes down and sits with us. Whatever it was, he kept us apart. Then after we get back to the States, I need to get a hold of John. I want to talk to John. I have questions. Chuck tells us, can't get a hold of him. He's gone. No longer lives in Chandler, Arizona. Okay, have you tried to get a hold of him? Don't worry about Jim. We'll get a hold of him. I'll do it. Your ex-base commander will do it for you. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can't get a hold of him. So it goes away. I figured Johnson, I don't know, La La Land somewhere. And then you call. He calls me when? Last fall?
That's the idea for the meeting.
He says, Jim. I go, John, glad to hear you. You know, here, I've been looking for you. He goes, you know what we got to do? I said, yep, we have to go back to Rendlesham. We both do it. 1996, I wanted to do a book. I don't know why. I guess I want my story out and be accurate. And I was with an author called A.J. Esrael, Sally Rail. Anyway, it would turn into trying to make money off this story. Didn't want nothing to do with it. I sent her an email. The email says, sorry, Sally, I like you. You're a good person. But no, we're not going to do a deal. And at the end I said, but I know you're looking for answers. But the answers we saw December 2010, 1996, July. That's when I said that. John, how many years ahead do you know of?
Well, I just knew we needed to get together and we needed to figure it out.
So that's what happened with the phone call. So it was automatic. Yes, go back to Rendlesham. So, and everything we did, got a hold of Linda Bolton Hall. John knew her. I'd done some work with her before. It was okay. Nothing personal. It was okay. Then Linda got in contact with Prometheus Entertainment, who does this, some, among other things, who did an Ancient Alien series. They were fascinated by the story. And like I said, when we went down the Phoenix shoot, that's when I brought up the codes for the first time. And I think that's, in the show on the 30th, it's going to say, we had the answers in front of us all the time. We did. They're always there. We're getting them deciphered right now. Linda has sources that we're doing. We got 2 sources.
Yes.
Now, don't take my word for that. First of all, I can't get through algebra. I'm not very good at math. Anyway, algebra was like rough in school. So I don't know how I could actually write this binary code down. But the fascinating part about the binary code on it is that we're going to prove. How are we going to prove this? I know how we're going to prove it. There's a test. John tells me, I gave you a glass of water. I'm trying to dry. Excuse me a second. This sucks. Much better. Anyway, John says there's a test. Don't take my word on it. This is about facts, okay? Don't take my word for it. It's all about facts. And anybody gets up here in front of you, you better ask him. I want facts, buddy. I don't want you to just sit there and say this is the way it was. Those guys you got to watch out for. They're trying to make money off this, okay? They don't want the truth. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to test the paper. That paper should say 1980. The ink should say 1980. So this was written right after the incident in 1980. John?
Anyway, okay. Basically for me, when we were sitting there in Phoenix that day and we got together, and I knew we needed to get together and I knew we needed to come over here, now there's a set of codes, okay? And I don't know how many people understand what they mean, because I totally don't myself still to this day, but I did do some checking, and it is factual, there are binary codes. I can't give you exact details how they're downloaded or what they mean and everything else, but there is a message. It didn't just come back with the numbers, but there is a message to these binary codes. And the thing about it is, it'll come out on what it is on the 30th, but the point being is it's clearly gone to a different level because of the fact that something was downloaded in him. And for him to be able to write these numbers out and they mean something, to me, is unbelievable. And for me to sit there and look at it and get told that that's what they mean and they've been analyzed is unbelievable. So do you want me to go and say it's alien again? No, I can't do that. I never have. But what I can tell you is this, and that's why we wanted to go out to the gate tonight for those who wanted to go out there. We came on duty. We were doing our job. Okay? We saw something strange. Okay? That didn't add up. And I've been there almost 2 years. Okay? It affected the guy that was with me. He didn't even want to go out there to try to figure out what it was. We went out to see what it was. There was some kind of static electricity in the air right at the end of the room. Okay? The lights were weird in the forest. And that's where I want to go to the lighthouse right now. Probably a lot of you already been out there, but you'll take a look. The lighthouse doesn't come into play at the gate. It doesn't come into play at the end of the road. It doesn't come into play in the first part of the forest. Okay? So whatever we were seeing at that point wasn't the lighthouse. Okay? So for the people that want to argue that point, okay, when you get way out in that field, you can see a blinking light. But there was no lighthouse at the beginning all the way through. Okay? The meteor story, I can't dispute whether or not a meteor went down, but a meteor goes down. It's been reported it didn't crash in this area. It just flies across the sky. So therefore, whatever was in the forest obviously wasn't the meteor. Okay? There was definitely a static charge there. Okay? A lot of people have come up to me or told me over the years there's some kind of energy field out there anyway. Okay? But there was definitely a static charge. It's hard to really figure totally out because you're going at night, which I want everybody to understand. If you go out there tonight, you'll understand. When we went out there, we didn't know exactly where it was. And I can't tell you to this day exactly in the forest where it was, but I can tell you it was to the right of this and it was in here and it moved back here and it went across the field. And based on my statement and what I felt and remembered and going back out there, it happened down there, I feel, to the right of the farmer's house. And we had some kind of contact in the forest, and we had some kind of contact out in the field. Okay? And from statements that have been made to me over the years on what Jim remembers, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he remembers and what's hypnosis, but there was something that happened to us. Okay? And then from there, we went farther back. So all I'm saying is it wasn't a lighthouse. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a